open that door. Because the one thing he told me, the marshal over there, he said, guess what? The reason why we like you so much, Dennis, because you're very honest, and we see everything you do, and I call him my friend. He's my friend. If you hate my guts, but he's my friend. And all you guys would do anything in the world to go there, talk to him for an hour, and let me know what you guys think.
Thanks, Dennis. You have a question, yeah?
Jason Carroll from CNN. I know that earlier in the press conference you referred to the dictator as a very good guy and a man who has to do his job, but how do you reconcile with the fact that this is a man who is responsible for oppressing millions of his people? And I'm wondering, as you have an opportunity to speak with him, do you at all talk about that? And how do you reconcile that while also referring to this man as your friend?
Well, the amazing thing I've done one thing. I actually got the communication open with him. I can say certain things about it. I don't want to talk about politics, but guess what? It's amazing how he does it better than I do. And it's amazing how we can sit there and say all these things about this country as CNN right there, boom. Guess what? If you had the opportunity to go there and talk to him, would you?
I would, but I have spoken, I should say, in the past to some North Koreans who've gotten out, and they've spoken in very heartfelt terms about how they suffered, how their families have suffered, how families continue to suffer a great deal.
If I may, maybe we can hand it over to Daniel. He can provide some background and context here.
Well, I'd actually like Mr. Rodman.
I'll say it. You know what? I've seen everything, and guess what, though? And right now, as we speak right now, they're actually watching this live over there. And the one thing about this, and I've said this to him, I said, your grandfather and your father did some bad things. I said, but you are trying to change something. Just because you see him on TV doing this, you never hear him talk. But you always see him do one thing like his grandfather and his father. But I go over there and say something very cool to him. And the one thing, he likes me because I'm very true, I'm very honest. No matter what he does over there, and Guatemala Matata, what we doing over here? Really? Let's go over there and check those people out. Ask Obama about that. Can you ask Obama about that? Why are we doing that over there? Can you ask Obama that? Since you're CNN, I'm sorry, whatever. Really, guy? Can you ask him that?
I just have one follow, if I may.
Go ahead.
Just one follow. When you were overseas, you referred to the president and the former secretary of state using a derogatory term, which was caught on tape. Do you stand by what you said about the president and the former secretary of state Clinton?
I'm sorry, say what I said.
You refer, and excuse my language, when asked about Kenneth Bay and his release, your comment was, guess what, ask Obama, ask that Obama, ask Hillary Clinton, ask those assholes.
Absolutely, I would say that very easy, and I'll say it direct. Guess what, though? Obama, what are you afraid of? Come talk to me. Guess what? It's amazing. You can talk to all these entertainers around the world. You can do one thing. You can do that Martin Luther King thing. Guess what? I'm doing some groundbreaking things. Come talk to me. I've seen things. I know things that you want to know. Talk to me. And guess what? Obama, I don't hate your guts. Hillary, I love you. Bill Clinton, I love you. Guess what? Come talk to me. I know things.
Thanks, Dennis. Very, very clear. I think Daniel would add some context and colour here.
Well, I would say North Korea's transgressions are very well known. You work for CNN, you should know about all of those things. If you have an internet connection, read a newspaper once in a while, you should know about that. That's common knowledge. But here's the reality. Who holds control of the policies, the leadership in North Korea? If we're dissatisfied with it, what's the best way to try to influence that? You totally isolate North Korea, or we engage with them through civil society? How do people change their minds? By being exposed to outside information, different ideas. And the socialization process through academic exchanges, private citizens, civil society, this exposes people to information. Why would denying information increase the likelihood of change thinking in North Korea? I think this is harmless. It's actually beneficial. So to get caught up in profanity here or the flamboyance here, Dennis has been around for a long time, that's his personality. Think about the substance, think about what's really going on here, think about the real opportunities. And I think people should focus on that a little bit more.
Thanks, Dan. Let's take a question from over here. Yes, pink shirt.
Dennis, yesterday I spoke to the sister of Kenneth Bay, and she was disappointed that nothing went down. I'll finish the question. And she wasn't surprised. In her words, this was a wasted opportunity. She said, "You are the only American who has Kim's ear." Now, you just said to us, you're pretty important now, your words. You have the inside track. If you can do anything to help anyone anywhere in the world, just ask you. And that Kim is your friend. Will you make, when you go there in December, will you exert an effort to assist the imprisoned Kenneth Bay? And have you had any discussions with Kim at all regarding that gentleman?
That's the main reason why I'm doing this basketball game, to open the doors. That's the main reason. I don't want to go in it's blind. And then one thing, he trusts me. And then one thing, I'm not going to be a politician. Nothing. I'm going to be his friend. And then one thing, I'm not sitting there trying to cruise him and stuff like that. I would love to keep going back over and over again. That's why he gave me an invitation to do one thing the next 3 years, to train anybody in North Korea. So hopefully that gives me an avenue to do one thing. Maybe loosen up a little bit to talk about how things work. Because I don't want to talk about politics, because if I do that, it's a whole different ballgame. And guess what though? That's not my job. My job is to go there and try to break grounds. That's it. And I think I'm doing that right now. And then one thing, you guys say anything about me, I don't care, man. Guess what? I wasn't going there trying to rescue somebody. I'm trying to do one thing, open doors. Open doors. And when those doors are open, maybe, those things will be different. Maybe be different. So I'm not the president. If you want, it's got to be released. Won't you ask Obama?
Thanks, Dennis. Next question, please. Oh, we have one.
Hey Dennis, Michael Costa here from Crowd Goes Wild. You said, quote, "Not too many people believe in you." I just want to go on record as saying, as Michael Costa, I do believe in you. You also said that we should give the marshal a call. Do you have a personal cell phone for him that you can share with us right now?
That's why I have all the logistics about him, the Prime Minister, everybody. I have all their numbers, emails, everything. I'm not going to do that to you guys. But guess what though? I'm going to give you guys this good thing. It will be a bestseller. He gave me the rights for me and him to sit down for 1 month, and me and him is going to write a book together. There we go.
One quick follow-up. Any chance you think the marshal is using you to get to Scottie Pippen?
Scottie Pippen. No, that was it's a bad question. But anyway, you know what it is. At least it's Michael Jordan. At least Michael Jordan.
Regis Philbin wanted me to ask you, while there, did you pick a favorite missile?
Absolutely. Guess what? Is that Regis or the black guy?
My follow-up question is,
The black guy, right? The black guy, right?
I'm a white
Whatever.
man.
That's a bad question. Go ahead.
Okay.
Do something cool, man. Do some cool stuff.
Who would be in your starting 5 dictators of all time, living or dead?
Listen, that's, we don't need to answer that. We're here to talk about basketball diplomacy.
Okay, rise or sally?
No.
Rise or sally?
It don't matter. It don't matter. Guess what?
Thank you.
This, like I told you, this is not a joke.
Yeah.
And then one thing, dude, seriously, you guys want news and stuff like that. And these people here are trying to do one thing, have a good interview. This guy here was CNN. And it's amazing, guys. If I can take one of you guys with me the next time, I would love for that guy right there, or one of these guys that's very important here in the news, to see what I do over there. I would love to see that and have him come back here and do the same thing and watch his opinion. I would love to see it. And you guys think this is a joke? This is not a joke. Because guess what though? It's amazing that the marshal, he's young, he's only 30 years old. 30 years old. And the sad thing about it, if he wanted to bomb anybody in the world, he would have done it. But it's amazing how he pulled things back. Remember that? He pulled things back. Not because of me, just because. It's a new era. And this kid he don't want war. He does not want war. But you know what though? We always sit there and predicate things about history. About history. It ain't about now. It ain't about now. We gotta move forward. Move forward, brother.
Thanks, Dennis. We have time for one more. That's enough, thank you. We have time for one more question at the back there.
Josh with ABC. Quick question for you. Can you just tell us a little bit about Kim Jong-un's baby that you met? What that situation was like? Describe her to us. And, you know, a lot of the news that comes out of North Korea we get from you. So,
Watch this. Once you said, there's a fat guy here. He was waiting the whole time.
Well, Dennis is not only, the first American, but the first foreigner to hold Kim Jong-un's baby. So that says a lot about the relationship. And, he just, every conversation they had was just smiles. And this is the biggest thing that could bridge the gap between the United States and North Korea is this guy right here. I strongly believe that.
Great, thank you very much, guys.
Just do one thing. What is that intention letter? What's the intention letter, Mike?
Yeah.
What's that?
Okay, can we get a microphone to Michael? Michael?
No, what's the intention? No.
There's some letters in my bag.
No, get it.
It's up at the hotel, it's not here, sorry.
Okay, so we have a letter. We have a letter from the
So anyway,
DPRK.
right here, guys. You want to read this? Petty Power? Petty Power, you want to read that? This intention letter, what I'm going to do in North Korea. Intention letter.
A letter of agreement for the purpose of,
You get a microphone?
hello, yeah, a letter of agreement for the purpose of developing basketball in DPR Korea. Ministry of Sports of the DPR Korea and Mr. Dennis Rodman, former NBA player, agree as follows on the 7th of December 2013. The Ministry of Sports of the DPR Korea invites Mr. Dennis Rodman and his colleagues to return to DPR Korea to organise a basketball tournament including the best players from DPRK and a team of 12 former NBA players to be held in January 2014. The games planned for January 8 and 10 with the players staying in Pyongyang for roughly 1 week. The Ministry of Sports of DPR Korea will cover lodgings and meals for Mr. Dennis Rodman and his colleagues, including the former NBA players, for the duration of their stay in DPR Korea, while Mr. Rodman will be responsible for all costs involved in the transportation to and from DPR Korea. Mr. Rodman and his colleagues further agreed to visit Pyongyang for 1 week in mid-December 2013 to select and train players for the DPR Korea continuing to the tournament. For this visit as well, the Ministry of Sports of DPR Korea will cover the cost of lodgings and meals, while Mr. Rodman and his colleagues will provide their own transportation to DPR Korea. During the visit in January 2014, both sides will discuss plans for a future event of similar nature involving DPR Korea and former NBA players to be held in Europe, which is planned for later in 2014. And that's signed by the Minister of Sports, and it's signed by the man to my left, Dennis Rodman.
Thanks, Paddy. That's very exciting. I think that's it, guys.
Anything more on these former players? Who else is going to play on this team?
The one thing, seriously, you want to elaborate? You want to, don't you elaborate? You elaborate.
Dennis will be, I guess, inviting some of his former colleagues to come along and make up this team. 2 or 3 days ago, this was still an idea. It's just become a reality now. So there's an awful lot of work to be done between now and the event in January. And that's obviously probably the most important part of the logistics to put on a proper all-star team.
One thing, I'm going to try to get the best players that used to play in the NBA, like Karl Malone, Scottie Pippen, Michael Jordan. He won't do it because he's Michael Jordan. But I'm going to try to get the best players to go over there and do one thing. And the one thing, guys, seriously, I guarantee you, all you guys today, I guarantee you, the next time I come back from North Korea, I'm going to do one thing. It'll probably double you guys. I guarantee you. So guess what, though? I'll be the first guy to ever interview Kim Jong-un on TV. Watch me.
Brilliant. That's something to look forward to. Thank you very much, guys. Dennis has to go now, but Paddy and Dan Pinkston are both available for interviews afterwards.